All right, sir. It's a great pleasure to have you join us here this morning on the show. This is Global Morning. We're live on Global Television on the STV channel 365 and Star Times channel 276. And this is Abuja, the capital of Nigeria. I am Uyi Agmofoigbe. For a second, you might give me a look like, does this man know the city where we are in? Of course, I do, Jumai Manson. This is Abuja, Nigeria's most, if you like, prosperous, biggest city, right? Most promising capital on the continent of 54 nations. Okay. I mean, I can go on and on and on.
It's okay, Uyi, I understand.
But first of all, it's good to see you.
It's good to see you. Good morning, Uyi, and of course, good morning to each and every one of you out there. It's a beautiful Thursday morning. The weather is fantastic.
It is.
I would say, and it's great to be here, and it's great to do this with you again, side by side. And yes, I know we're in Abuja, Uyi.
All right, great. I like when people are on the same page as you on a Thursday morning such as this. But we are grateful to you as always for taking the time to join us here on the program. We do not take that for granted. But, well, as always, we'll talk politics today, so much of it. And today is also a special day about wellness, because we can be caught up in the business of everyday life and not know that wellness on many fronts, whether physical, emotional, mental, psychological, and even financial. All right, they are all part of, the aggregates of what we refer to as wellness, and today happens to be a very special day.
Yes, it is, and I think that's one aspect that a lot of us take for granted. Wellness, when it comes to, I know you've mentioned a lot, but sometimes the health is more important, because if you're not healthy, all of those areas in which you've mentioned will be incapacitated. Definitely, when it comes to psychological, mental, financial, you need to be healthy to be able to perform and be able to, move around and be able to understand what all of these means. So I think we take that for granted, especially Nigerians. We do not check our wellness when it comes to health-wise, especially. We're also scared to go to the hospital to do a rundown of a medical report. They say the African man said, what you don't know will not kill you, blah, blah. That mentality.
But it's also the one that gets me feeling all flipped over is when they talk about dirty know the kill African man.
Exactly.
Right?
And then you start eating fruits that are not properly washed. Come on, no.
Or veggies, you just move all the way from a polythene bag into the pot and you say, well, if we have to wash it, it reduces the nutritional value.
Oh my goodness.
The vitamins.
Oh my goodness. I think we have a lot to do when it comes to
I had a friend in class in uni who would say ignorance is bliss.
Yes. but seriously, we have a lot to do when it comes to all of these areas combined. We need to, wellness is important. I don't want to categorize it and say women. Women, we do a lot when it comes to, but I know you men, you do a lot, but at least some women,
No, we're going to have a day to talk about a lot that we do, but let's pay attention to women first.
Really? You want to really pay attention to the women? Okay, let me tell you about the women that we do.
He for she.
I know.
We're still here, just so you know.
Thank you so much, Uyi. I really appreciate this. So the women, we do a lot when it comes to trying to balance, we give so much when it comes. Don't nod your head like that.
No, I'm doing that in consonance, just to say in agreement with you, right?
Please be in agreement. Women, we do a lot when it comes to the home front, when it comes to cooking, when it comes to cleaning, when it comes to this. We give so much and then we forget to take care of ourselves sometimes. And it could be draining. So there should be a balance. That's why wellness, and it affects every area of the body when it comes to psychological, mental, physical, all and that. So men, you try it too though. But women,
we have to do it for women, and women have proven themselves the last couple of decades.
Yes,
we can't take that away. The results speak for themselves. You see the things they're doing across different sectors. We've seen how they're moving things one block at a time, and we're now waiting for them to do more. Of course, they are doing a lot already in politics, but 2027 is another window opening for women to do so much. All right, but let's not take our attention away from the fact that we have two plans for our conversations this morning. There's politics, no doubt about that. For example, the Action Democratic Party just held its own first NEC meeting yesterday, which we talked about here on the reporters as well. And then, of course, this issue of wellness, all around, if you like, 360-degree wellness, will also be a focal point on our conversation lists this morning. But we're taking a break now. When we return, all of that will be in front of you. Now that every political party is beginning to show some sort of, if you like, tangible or substantial effort to say that, look, we're ready for 2027, it means the race is beginning to now peak momentum. But the thing is, every party, or maybe a few parties in collaboration, is now, prioritizing the need, as they say. Some say it's very paramount for them to unseat APC government. We saw what some of the leaders of the ADC said.
Yes.
From Rauf Aregbesola, former governor of Osun State, later minister in the cabinet of former President Muhammadu Buhari, now deceased. So the national chairman of the party, the Senator David Mark himself, who had been in government for an very extensive period, of course, former Vice President Atiku Abubakar, former governor of Anambra State, Peter Obi, who also was the flag bearer, presidential flag bearer, that is, for the LP in 2023. They all spoke about the state of the nation, at least from their standpoint. Peter Obi, as is very characteristic of him, also presented statistics as to how we've fared so far, and so on and so forth. But it appears the opposition is beginning to gain a bit of vehemence, because if you realize, a couple of weeks before now, you and I have talked about politics here a lot, and it was as if opposition was shaky. Because in the PDP, you had conflict. Of course, there's still conflict.
Yes.
ADC didn't look like, they were neither here nor there, so to speak. Of course, beyond those two, there was really no other party to look up to, because, again, the Labour Party had been depleted, especially given the exit of Peter Obi from the party. The Nanaji Usman-led Labour Party is trying to find its foot, so to speak. So, on account of that, it was safe to say that opposition had not gotten its act together. But today, the ADC appears to be changing the narrative, and it's happening very fast.
Yes, it is.
The impact is what you might want to call insidious, because it appears the ruling party never saw this coming.
No, they didn't.
We saw, of course, the drama that preceded. Yes, you didn't allow us to use Eagle Square.
Exactly.
You didn't approve the velodrome for us. You were also threatening to revoke the paperwork of the facility where we had resorted to, more like, as the last resort and things like that. But all of that has been laid to rest now, because whether you like it or not, convention has held.
Yes, it has.
Politicians are moving to the next one.
Exactly, and then the good thing about it is that we're beginning to see structure in the ADC now. A lot of, with all of this that is happening, and of course, it's a lot that is ongoing. Really, many Nigerians, I'm sure, did not see this coming when it comes to the structure that is playing out in the ADC at this point, and of course the APC, thinking that they had more leverage with all of these internal crises here and there. But hopefully, let's just say more political parties are coming up and making themselves known that, okay, fine, they can be in a position when it comes to the ruling party. But let's just see how well it plays out. Like I said, it's all politics, and these are political parties. We need to see much more. It boils down to Nigerians now to see whether there is an impact, or to see whether there are changes, or to see whether they have something to offer. It's not all about the big wigs that I've mentioned. It's not about having big names and all of that, individuals who have served in one point or the other and coming together, creating that alliance. But at the same time, it's what you can actually bring that we can see. Most Nigerians, it's not all about statistics. I know Peter Obi is very vast when it comes to analyzing. He's a very intelligent individual. But at the same time, the common man whose vote matters, when you individuals who vote really count, do not care about statistics. They just want to see changes. We want to see it in plain sight. So that's what really matters. But so far so good. We see structure, which is very important, because definitely you cannot have a divided house and yet you want to run Nigeria. No way, it's not going to happen. That would be a lot, and that would be a story for another day. But at the same time, we see structure, we see strategy, we see political parties going back to the drawing board to come out to say, hey, okay, fine, we must have had it. We had internal crisis, but we're here now, and this is it now. So let's just see how well this plays out.
Well, I think that's what it is. But again, you're wondering, what exactly does the ADC back on, or what is the ADC backing on to, if you like, advance as their own unique advantage? Because just like you have in business, in politics, you've got to have your competitive advantage. You want something. Is it the spread in terms of your party presence, your clout, your influence as a political party? Is it the caliber of the men and women in the party, who run the party, who are the poster boys and poster girls of the party. Is it the manifesto of the party, if you like, again, as I say in business, is it the unique selling proposition, the USP of your party as against what the APC, the Renewed Hope agenda that it's advancing or has advanced to Nigerians? What exactly would it, I mean, I'm just curious because at the end of the day, it is one thing and very good to have this, if you like, this caliber of men who are in the party now. Of course, the people who are accomplished in their own rights, politically and otherwise. But beyond that, what will it amount to? What will it count for on election day? Because it's about numbers. If we and Jumai stand against themselves in an election, Jumai gets 15 votes, we gets 12 votes. Juma has won. Exactly. So nobody really cares if Juma was white-skinned or black-skinned before the election. So the ADC has to look at numbers. It appears they are getting it right at this point. It appears they are beginning to have clarity compared to what we had seen a couple of months before now. And then, of course, we are waiting for the court to adjudicate ultimately and judicially lay all of these thorny issues to rest. And then the ADC probably can now properly sits and pursues the vision. But you see, the ADC must also realize that while populism, like we saw with Trump in 2016, can also be of an advantage, Nigeria may not be exactly the same, if you like, environment as you have in the US. So you don't want to sell bitterness, you don't want to sell discord, sell your proposition, or as politicians call it, your mandate to the people, or your manifesto. Let them see what you want to do with agriculture, what you want to do with the 60-65% youth in this country, the bulk of whom are unemployed, not meaningfully engaged, all right, in such a way that they have the capacity and competence to bring economic value. Talk to Nigerians about what you want to do regarding energy transition. How are you going to guarantee Juma Manson light in our house?
Exactly.
Those are the issues that touch at the very core of what bothers the everyday citizen. Those are the things people want to hear. Don't tell us about how much you don't like the APC, how much you don't like.
Don't tell us how you want to bring them.
Let Nigerians decide that for themselves.
Exactly.
Tell the people what you've got for them as against what they currently have. I think it's as simple as that.
And then, when you have all of these mandates in place, automatically you have indirectly removed the APC from power, because their votes would definitely tilt towards the ADC. So it's not about you coming out to tell us what you want to do with the APC. No, keep that to yourself. Just do the needful, like you've mentioned, when it comes to power, what you've done. The youth who are graduates, who do not have that job, that employment opportunities, that are just wandering about. Tell us what you're going to do with transportation. Tell us what you're going to do with agriculture. Tell us what you're going to do with security. Tell us all of that, the impact in which you will make. And in your own right, you don't have to speak to it. They say action is louder than voice. I don't need to say I'm going to bring down this party. No. Tell us your own strategy, what you are bringing, why it's important that our vote should tilt towards the ADC. I think that's the most important at this moment. Not telling us what you're going to do by removing the president and all of that, unseating the APC. No, please. You can do better. There are better ways to handle stuff.
Right. Well, I understand you and your people are cooking today.
Oh yes, my favorite part of the program, Taste and Texture. Okay, politics count, but
they've got to eat to stay alive.
And stay healthy for our well-being.
Right.
So it's very important. So at this point, let us move over to the Taste and Texture segment. Don't go anywhere. It's Global Morning. Stay tuned and enjoy.
Hello everyone and welcome to Taste and Texture. Today we are going to be preparing boiled plantain and egg sauce. For the boiled plantain, we'll be needing the following: ripe fresh plantain, knife and clean pot, water. Here is the process of preparing boiled plantain. Wash and cut or dice your fresh ripe plantain into few pieces. In a clean pot, add your diced and washed ripe plantains. Add water, salt and cover to cook for a few minutes. Drop and drain the water, and then after a few minutes peel the boiled plantain and set aside. For the egg sauce, we will be needing a few fresh pieces of raw eggs. In a clean bowl, break your raw eggs and whisk. Get your clean frying pan and add oil to fry. Add your pepper, mix, and stir for a few minutes. Then add Maggi and other seasoning of your choice. Then stir and add corned beef, optional. Also stir your already whisked eggs and finally add parsley and stir it. Our boiled plantain and egg sauce is ready. That's it on this episode of the show. I hope you will try this recipe at home. Join me again on Taste and Texture next time. I am Sadia Yakubu. See you again.
That's quite a fantastic breakfast idea right there. But let's follow through real quick now with Ramsey Enoch Agbo's segment where he brings us heart to heart inspirational.
Well, this is Heart to Heart Inspirational, and of course, we need to let ourselves know that, all right, if life were easy, strength would be unnecessary. Do you get that? If life was an easy thing, we don't need strength now. We don't even need mental calculation. We don't even need to do anything because life is easy. Everything is just going smooth. You just sit down, relax, whatever you want to do, you do. My mother would say, if money were leaves on the tree that you can plug anytime. But it's not like that. Life is not easy, and that is why strength is required. Anyone that tells you life is easy, then that person is not doing you well. No matter how rich your parents are, ask them, is life easy? They'll let you know the truth. And the earlier you realize this, the better, so that you don't lag behind, so that you don't just live a careless life, so that you don't live your life like there is no tomorrow, so that tomorrow don't take you unaware, like some civil servants who will never think about retirement until retirement meets them face to face. This is something of 35 years. What preparation have you done? Depending on pension, waiting for pension. All right. Well, with what's happening right now in our own country, I think a lot of people are becoming wiser because pension itself, well, I don't know who is doing who strong thing, but then I just want us to know that life is not as easy as we think. Whoever that is putting it forward to you that life is easy, I don't think that person is doing you any good. Life is easy. With faith, life is easy. I'm not displacing the place of ease. Life is easy if you know what to do. Yeah, life is easy if you know what to do. Then strength is also required. But if pressure didn't exist, a power wouldn't develop. Because what you're facing right now is not evidence of weakness. It's not because you're weak. Yes, it's not because you're weak. Sometimes these things happen. It's happening to other people, just that they are not voicing out the way you are voicing it out. They are not complaining the way you are complaining. Sometimes complaint don't even solve the problem. Because what you're facing right now is not an evidence of weakness. It is a proof of capacity. Your ability to subdue whatever the situation is what matters. All right? Some people, I don't want to say, but then I know of business owners, especially people who take risk in business. Sometimes if you know the kind of money they lose, you will be shocked. Sometimes we even insult them. But the day they hit it with that risk, oh my God, they can make double of what they've lost. All right? So it takes a man with a large heart A heart of capacity, someone who has capacity, all right, to make such moves. So sometimes what's happening to you and what you're doing is not a sign of weakness, it's not a sign of foolishness, but it's a proof that you have capacity, and it's a proof that you are growing, and it's a proof that you're ready to change level, and it's a proof that you are tired of the status quo. You want a change of level. You want it to be better than what it is right now. Life, as a matter of fact, attests us not to break us, but to reveal us. Pressure exposes the strength you didn't know you have. I tell you the truth. Pressure exposes the strength you never knew existed on your inside. So sometimes your ability to overcome pressure sometimes matters. And that's why when you're going to look for a job in some other places, you hear, all right, do you work under pressure? Sometimes it happens. You don't beg for it to happen sometimes, but it happens. Even at home, in your family, it happens. Between you and your siblings, sometimes you see some things, some kind of pressure comes. All right? Those pressures exposes your strength. Your ability to handle those pressure, those times is what matters. It makes you. The weight you are carrying build your muscle in your character. That is true. What am I saying? I'm trying to let you know that the weight you are carrying sometimes is building your muscle in your character. Storms don't last forever. That reminds me of one of Kirk Franklin's songs that we used to sing those days. Storms don't last always. All right? Storms will come, whether you like it or not. In as much as life is there, storms must come, but it doesn't last and it doesn't exist all the time. But resilient people do exist, irrespective of the kind of storm they have been faced with. You've survived things that once made you cry. Am I telling your mind? Am I saying the truth? Am I saying your mind? Yes. Those things that made you cry sometimes back, you survived it. By the time those things are happening again, you already have the muscle to withstand it. You've overcome moments you thought would end your life. Some things happen and you say, whoa, some people think they are finished. Maybe a grace available for this moment. That same strength is still inside of you. There are strength on your inside that have not even manifested. All right. So when pressure comes in your business, in your family, in what you do, in your pursuit for success, don't allow yourself to be weighed down. Let me take gold, for instance. It's been refined by fire, not destroyed by fire. Any gold you see shining today, it went through a refining moment. What refines gold is fire. Fire. They put gold inside fire, heat it. It will be burning it. It's only God that knows what that gold will be saying. But after that moment, it comes out shining. And people will want to pay millions, billions to buy it. All right? That heat doesn't remove the gold. It removes the impurity, the dirt, the unpreparedness, the unreadiness. All right? The procrastinations. All right, the indiscipline, the misbehavior, the unreadiness is being removed by that fire, and you come out pure, you come out refined. Stop asking, why me? Sometimes, a lot of people like asking that question. Oh God, why me? Allah, why me? Oh, why me? Stop asking that question. Start asking, what is this building in me? What is this situation trying to bring out in me? Why did this thing happen to me? God, what are you saying? What is it for? What is it for? Sit down and think. Some people don't even have thinking moments. There are times that you need to shut the door. You need to off your phone. Sit down and think. Strategize. Distraction. Kai, I don't know, but a lot of distraction in this our generation, a lot of distraction in this our days, especially this age of internet. Yeah, a lot of people are doing well with the internet, but then there are times that you need to sit down and just you and you alone, you and your heart and what you have conceived in your heart, that is in your head, boiling, how it's going to get into your hand. Sometimes you sing and ponder over it. All right? Trust your resilience. You have survived 100% of your worst days in the past. So what is left? These are the things you should be asking yourself. All right? So I want us to know that this moment will not defeat you. It will develop you. And it's all a matter of choice. You need to decide it. You need to want it. You need to live it. You need to behave it. It needs to be in your head after conceiving it in your heart so that it can enter your hands. Thank you very much. You are a success going somewhere to happen. Recondition your heart and your thinking cap should be on all the time. I'm Ramsey Enoch Agbo. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye for now.
Wake up with Global Morning, your daily guide to what's happening and making the rounds.
We delve into headlines, newspaper reviews, spot-on analysis, policies, current events, real talk, real issues that affect us all.
From the latest trends to the debate, every topic, every angle, Global Morning is where it all starts.
Global Morning,
For the latest issues,
always on point.
Watch Global Morning Monday to Friday at 7 a.m. Saturday and Sunday at 8 a.m. on Global Television.
All right. Well, ADC is now saying that it will go for, if presidential primary fails, it will go for presidential sort of selection if consensus fails. Because the question has been about who will the ADC present as its presidential candidate in 2027. Remembering that the goal is to remove the APC government led by President Tinubu from office. So,
Of course.
they have to look for a match for the president. Questions around, well, could that match be Atiku Abubakar? Because that's what people always say, that it's only Atiku Abubakar who has the political experience, a man who has thrown his hat in the ring multiple times. He has the war chest.
Yes.
He has been friends, politically and otherwise, with President Bola Tinubu. So for a man like, for a party like the ADC, that's your best bet. So you can put your money on him, as they say. Others say, well, no, let's actually look at a man like Peter Obi, who many people say is not a conventional politician.
Yes.
All right, he has his own thing working for him, whatever that thing may be. So put a man like that in there against APC in 2027, especially, again, looking at what he had achieved with the numbers in 2023.
Yes.
Others say, well, who knows? Maybe in that case, we can pair him with former governor of Kano State,
Yes.
Kwankwaso. I spoke with a PDP chieftain here, by the way, last week about that. And I asked him very directly, if we were to pair Peter Obi and Rabiu Musa Kwankwaso as presidential candidate and running mate respectively, what's your assessment? What do you really think about that? He says, of course, in his own assessment, if that should happen, Aso Rock will not be able to go to bed. In fact, in his exact words, Aso Rock will have sleepless nights, right? Because for many people, Kwankwaso is not just only the guy who has so much of clout in the north. I mean, in Kano,
State.
because of his Kwankwasia movement, is a beloved guy in
Yes,
the
he
north,
is.
and that will count a lot for him. It will give him a lot of political
Leverage.
mileage and all of that in 2027. What I say, yes. On the other side, Obi is such a guy who had shown what he could do in 2023. Why doesn't the ADC leverage that, pair these two gentlemen, and see what the result will be? But you see, as I say, 1 hour can change everything,
Yes, it
180
can.
degrees in politics. That may be the reality today. That may be feasible today. But will it be on election day proper? Because votes will be counted. People are not going to, INEC is not going to determine the winner by whether it's President Bola Tinubu
At
that was
all.
presented by the
No.
APC, or Peter Obi, or anyone else from the ADC, or any other party for that matter. So how can the ADC convert this to votes and an electoral victory? That has been the concern. You have any piece of advice?
No.
That's
But at the
okay.
same time, I just feel let's do what's right, and of course, what is best for the party and for the move of the party. Of course, it's election process, and of course, the electionary time where everyone wants his or her own party to win. So whatever strategy works for you, I feel it's all about going back to the drawing board. That's why politics is all about being strategic. If you're not strategic, then you have another thing coming for you. So whatever it is that will emerge the party as the winner, I think they should go for it. If that is the winning ticket of merging these two heavyweights together, well, all fine and good.
Right.
It's all about what will work and what will make that party emerge as the ruling party of Nigeria come 2027. That's just what I have to say.
All right, let's all go wait for Jumai Manson in 2027, so we can have this conversation in continuation. We're taking a break now. When we return, we'll bring you headlines from front pages of Nigerian newspapers.
All right, you're welcome back. And about this point on Global Morning is the newspaper review segment. And we're going to start with the first paper of the day. Is the Punch newspaper, and above the nameplate on the Punch, which is on page 24, it says ADC will go for presidential primary if consensus fails, and that's from Atiku Abubakar. And on page 36 on the Punch, it says fast track financial support, IMF tells Nigeria and others. And on page 29, it says Dangote, Trump named in TIME 100 most influential people. All right, and beside the nameplate of the Punch newspaper, that's on page 36, it says Nigeria's inflation rebounds after US-Iran war shocks hit households. And the Star story on page 2 says troops repel fresh attack as fallen general soldiers buried. Very sad there. And of course, the writer says northern leaders, Afenifere, demand action as security crisis worsens. 345 killed, 361 abducted in March, and that's from the Institute. U.S. lawmakers seeks Matawale's ouster. And basically, at the side of the Punch on page 14, it says 1.8 trillion naira debt, reps signal imminent contractor payments. And on page 24, it says opposition crisis, self-inflicted APC chair tells ADC. Now, at the foot of the Punch newspaper, it says Malami son face new terrorism-linked firearms charges, and that's on page 7. And on page 4 and 5, it says Ogun brick molder killed over 200 naira dispute. Oh my goodness. Very sad read there. And of course, on page 14, it says flood alert, 10 states risk cholera surge. And that's on page 14. And those are the major headlines on the Punch newspaper. Please go out to get yourself a copy and be well abreast with the major issues making rounds. Next is the Nigerian Tribune. Over to you now, Uyi.
We'll start from the top left corner. It says inflation rate rose to 15.38% in March. That's according to the National Bureau of Statistics. With the writers, it says CPPE expresses concerns about renewed cost pressure. Airlines warn of possible flight suspension over fuel hike. That's on page 5. 2027 election will be my last outing. That's former Vice President Atiku Abubakar. So the question is, will that be the former VP saying this will be the last time I will stand as candidate, or I would even aspire, or this is the last time I will be involved at all on any level in any capacity? Because there have also been calls for him to take a second look at where Nigeria is today and what the odds are for his party. That those who have said very clearly that, look, Mr. Former Vice President, you've got to step back, allow someone else try on the platform of this ADC based on this coalition that is beginning to build and find some sort of momentum. But I think context and perspectives will be provided in the days ahead. But let's look at the big one. That's the star headline here. It says Nigeria's insecurity has reached states of war. That's ACF, Arewa Consultative Forum, they're talking with two riders accompanying that headline. Defense Minister Zulum orders attend burial of soldiers killed in Borno attack. They were men of uncommon courage. That's CG Musa there talking as well. On the left side of the paper, NADDC moves to establish automotive sector awarding body for skills certification. PDP crisis, Anyanwu appeals judgments affirming his expulsion from party. Okay, and then you go further down a little, says Oyo government confirms Lassa fever case, activates emergency response. And a bit of health for us on page 4. High salt diet may speed memory decline in men. Just so you know, everyone have been off salt for a long time now. Right, and my memory is intact. APC not coercing anyone to join party. Yuwada, the national chairman of APC, they're talking. Senate gives fresh deadline to NNPCL over unaccounted 210 trillion naira. Ojulari Kyari, others summoned again, says April 29 for compliance. All right, we have two more headlines here to go, and one tells us 33 states will experience flood in 2026. Federal government warns, and the NCDC alerts 10 states of flood-linked cholera disease outbreak risk. Read up details on page 4 of the Nigerian Tribune today. And then the last one here tells us court fixes May 26 for DSS to open case against Malami's son. We understand that borders on national security allegations, where you can find details on page 19 of the Nigerian Tribune. Please do yourself a favor, read up those details as you move into this Thursday. Let's go check out headlines from the Nation newspaper.
All right, now in the Nation newspaper, above the nameplate on page 7, it says local airlines threaten shutdown over fuel costs. Oh my goodness. And on page 3 it says Dangote, Pope, Trump, Xi Jinping, others among Times 100 most influential. And on page 5 it says fallen Brigadier General, Captain, 6 soldiers buried with full honors. Very sad read there. You cannot imagine the toll it takes on their family members, wife, the children. Very unfortunate. May their soul rest in peace. And on page 3 it says inflation rises to 15.38% on global oil crisis. And the Star headline says Sharafuddin Ali's bid for Oyo APC governorship ticket gets big support, and that's on page 4. And the major headline there says ADC presidential ticket tears Atiku Obi Kwakwaso apart. And the writer says Momodu Tanko clash over primary. The second writer says Nafiu Bala right of convention. And still on The Nation, it says Yelwada APC in good standing. And the writer says no fear of impulsion, says party chair. And below that it says tough times ahead, IMF warns. And the writer says oil price velocity to worsen over supply gaps. And the second writer says urges Nigerians to build fiscal shields with oil windfall. And at the foot of The Nation it says Lagos, Oyo, Ogun, Ondo, Kwara, FCT, 28 others put on flood alert. And that's on page 4. Now, those are all the major headlines on The Nation newspaper. Please go out and get yourself a copy. And we're well abreast with major issues making rounds. Next, we have The New Telegraph.
In Middle East crisis, IMF mulls $50 billion support fund for Nigeria. Others says conflict may deepen macroeconomic strains. Nigeria's inflation reacts to West Asia war. Swings up to 15.38% in March. Again, that's according to the National Bureau of Statistics. NDIC moves to finalize liquidation of 89 microfinance banks and PMBs, right? ADC convention, we would have held meeting in Wike's office, party. Time to celebrate responsibility will be. Senate gives NNPC April 29 deadline to explain 210 trillion naira audit gap, summons Kyari Ojulari. And then as we make progress, alleged terrorism, court fixes May 26 for DSS to open case against Malami's son. And then one with a picture of Oyo State's Governor Sheyi Makinde says Oyo government confirms Lassa fever case, activates emergency response. And then Lagos, Anambra, 31 others, over 14,000 communities face flood risk in 2026, according to the federal government. With there you have a kicker that says flood alert, quite interesting. Hopefully the state governments themselves are alerted. Middle East, US-Iran discuss next round of peace talks as Pakistani mediators arrive in Tehran. Osun Council chairman staged protests at state high courts over local government funds on page 29. Airlines threaten Monday shutdown over 300% jet fuel hike. Say they can't increase airfares to meet running costs. ICAO begins safety validation in Nigeria as NCAA showcases stronger oversight. U.S. legislator demands pressure on Nigeria to punish terrorism sponsors, asks Tinubu to fire Metawali, that's the Minister of State for Defense, who also is former governor of Zamfara State. That's some pressure coming from the U.S. All right, well, look up details on the New Telegraph today and stay informed. Next port of call is the This Day newspaper.
All right, This Day newspaper, amid higher energy food commodity prices, inflation rebounds to 15.38%. And of course, the writer there says severe in Bayelsa, Sokoto, Bauchi, others. CPPE says resurgence threatens gains of this inflation. And the star story below the nameplate says Gulf crisis, IMF plans $50 billion support for Nigeria, other vulnerable nations. And part of the headlines there that you will find on page 8 says oil prices stable at $95 at US-Iran talks raise hope. War very close to over, Trump says. Iran's military threatens Red Sea shipping if U.S. blockade continues. Like I said, it's on page 8 now once you get that copy of This Day newspaper. Now below that it says Atiku Tinubu can't win free fair election in 2027. Yelwada, ADC, others should put their house in order. And that's from, and the writer says, ex-VP says 2027 will be his last shot at presidency. All right, I think that answers your question. The last shot at presidency, that's the former vice president.
We're all here.
Okay, and below that it says meeting with the World Bank president, and basically those are all the major headlines on this day newspaper. Please go out and get yourself a copy and be well abreast with the major issues. Next is The Guardian.
Well, thank you, Jumai. Top right, left corner with a picture of Aliko Dangote. Africa has cows $120 billion for 6 Dangote-sized refineries to hedge energy crisis. Dangote, Pope, Trump make time 100 most influential people. Inflation rises to 15.3% amid global supply chain disruption. Fresh concerns over funding risks as Nigeria's public debt hits 159.28 trillion naira. Those disturbing details are on page 6. As we move further down, 2027 CSOs sets agenda for candidates, demand SDG-aligned manifestos. ADC crisis deepens as Kachiku slams NBA over no court stance. Nigeria others to negotiate $11.7 trillion debts, $920 billion servicing cost. And that's quite a lot of money there. Kayamo laments $2.5 billion maintenance cost as United Airlines records 5th bird strike. 2027, Atiku rallies opposition as APC defense processes. So much about politics this morning, really, across board, but we encourage you, as always, to read up details from the Guardian newspaper this morning. Let's take a look at our last paper, and that is the Daily Sun newspaper.
All right, now the Daily Sun newspaper, beside the nameplate on page 26, it reads, 33 states FCT faced high flooding, FG warns. And the writer says, Oshun, Enugu, Kogi, Adamawa, 6 other states risk cholera over flood. And below that, it says airlines to shut down operations April 20th over 300% jet fuel price surge. And the Star Story reads, insecurity escalating to war situation. That's from the Arawa Group. And we have 2 writers there raising terror concerning Afenifere. And it says U.S. lawmakers demand Matawale's removal. And below that, on page 7, it says Governor Umba, transformer and entrepreneur, says French ambassador. As that's the writer then says, as governor envoy flag of 14.5 kilometer high capacity water pipeline. And on page 7, it says 2027, my last in presidential contest, and that's Atiku. Hints at likely consensus arrangement for ADC candidate. And on page 8, it says NNPCL must account for 210 trillion naira by April 29, Senate insists. And on page 8, it says APC Chair Yelwada replies David Mark's claim on Tinubu running one-man show. And Ryder says defends president's reform. And basically, those are all the major headlines on the Daily Sun. Go out and get yourself a copy and be well abreast with the major issues making rounds. And that brings us to the end of the newspaper review segment. Go out and get yourself a copy and be well abreast on all the papers to be well informed to avoid fake news. Now, note that Global Television crew have no input or any editorial judgment on these newspaper review. It has been read to you exactly how it was brought by the paper. Up next is Social Buzz with Ogochukwu Mobano. Stay tuned.
Wake up with Global Morning, your daily guide to what's happening and making the rounds.
We delve into headlines, newspaper reviews, spot-on analysis, policies, current events, real talk, real issues that affect us all.
From the latest trends to the debate, every topic, every angle, Global Morning is where it all starts.
Global Morning,
For the latest issues,
always on point.
Watch Global Morning Monday to Friday at 7 a.m. Saturday and Sunday at 8 a.m. on Global Television.
At Wichtech Cables, we don't just make cables, we deliver excellence. Our products are built with advanced technology, trusted for their unmatched quality and durability. With a wide range of cables, swift delivery, and continuous innovation, we stay ahead of the market demand. We are proudly Nigerian, fully indigenous, yet world-class. Backed by a professional team, strong technical support, and a deep commitment to customer satisfaction. Wichtech Cables is more than a brand, it's a promise. Wichtech Cables, quality cables better than the best.
In an age of breaking news, you need a trusted source that prioritizes accurate, factual, and unbiased reporting. This is AM News, and I am Ubong Usoro.
On Global Television, our news is rooted in verified and authoritative storytelling that keeps you educated, informed, and enlightened on all the issues that matter to you. I am Sadia Yakubu. This is Midday News.
You can trust our multi-platform news broadcast real-time and fast-check stories for all the big local and foreign headlines round the clock. I am Ramsey Enoch Agbo. This is News Express.
Our array of anchors delivers the news to our teeming viewers, breaking it down with context and perspective. This is News Cycle on Global Television. I am Anieti Patrick.
And the flagship news is your hub for the day's most engaging stories. This is News Prime, and I am Jumai Manson.
Did you miss any of our news rounds? No worries. Catch up at 10 p.m. and midnight, 7 days of the week. I am Mukhtar Kasim.
Global TV is on DSTV channel 365 and Star Times channel 276. We're active across all social media platforms at Global TV NG.
Global TV News, accurate and unbiased. I'm Uyi Agmofwebe.
When social media speaks, we listen and we bring you the extra. It's your one-stop shop for trends, tweets, and the tea everyone's sipping on. Join the conversation, share your thoughts, and get that extra dose of what's shaking the internet.
And on issues making wave on social media to your doorstep.
Social Buzz Extra, where the trend meets the talk, only on Global TV.
Good morning, Nigerians and viewers around the world. It's time to look at buzzing issues on social media. Today, we're looking at a Nigerian based abroad who has stirred mixed reactions online after advising men who relocate to move on from their relationships back home if they find someone new. The statement, which has since gone viral, centers on the reality of long-distance relationships following relocation. According to the woman, men who travel abroad and meet someone they genuinely connect with should not feel obligated to maintain relationships they left behind in Nigeria. She explained that her perspective is shaped by a personal experience, adding that many long-distance relationships struggle to survive once distance becomes a factor. The woman also suggested that, in her view, women back home may not always remain committed, especially if they find someone they prefer. Some social media users agree, saying distance often weakens emotional bonds, while others insist that commitment should not depend on location. Let's take a look at that very short clip.
To me, as a man, if you get girlfriend for Nigeria and you travel abroad, if you see girl for abroad where you like, move on. Move on. I say no girlfriend for Nigeria, they wait for anybody where they abroad. They only wait for you. Only if they no see man, no man talk to them, or they no see man way better pass you. That is only when they go say they are waiting for you. Nga, 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 nga.
So you listen to that young lady speaking. I don't know if it's out of experience or this is just, her just saying whatever it is she feels is right. Well, let's take some comments from social media as regards to this topic. And the first comment is coming from Femi White Official. And Femi says, but she's saying the truth. Okay, all right. Next comment is coming from Ekene Udemado. Udemado says, that's not completely true. There are girls that wait genuinely, but they just have to be careful not to get disappointed by their partners. All right, the next, which is the last comment, says, is from Chuka Odike. And Chuka says, truth be told, and realistically speaking, many people know this is the truth. Too much exposure and the illusion of options has made long-distance relationships mostly unworkable. It's a fluke. All right. Thank you, everyone who dropped their thoughts concerning this topic. I'm not alone today in the studio. I have with me, should I say, relationship expert at this point? Jumai Manson. Good morning, Jumai.
Oh God, be careful.
I have to tell you that. I know you always dish out, relationship advice and all of that. And now this is something that has to do with a relationship, long distance relationship. That young lady there is saying, you know what, if you find yourself in the abroad, if you're a man, make sure you just leave whatever it is you had back at home and, move on with your life. What do you think about
For me,
that?
it's not completely true. It's all about commitment. It's all about what you believe you both have. It's very important that we understand it too. Some people, you might just, if you're not emotionally attached to that individual, then this can actually follow. But if you have plans, you've made up your mind that this is the one and this is your soulmate, this is the person that you love and have affection for, you can actually make it work. I have friends that they've had a long distance relationship and they're married today and they have kids and they are happy. He went abroad, stayed 2 years, came back home, married her, and they're happy. So your own experience, if it didn't work for you, doesn't mean that it will not work for Jumai Manson. So it's a two-way street. And of course, it's all about balance, I always say. But if you genuinely love someone and you know what you have cannot be compared with whatever you see, or like someone mentioned, a mindset, someone mentioned a lot when it comes to the illusion of the abroad and all of that. No, if you genuinely love someone, believe me, you will wait and you will make it work. Truth be told.
Okay, I've also seen cases where people genuinely love each other, and then the other one of them move abroad And before you know it, I think distance actually is a strong barrier.
Oh, yes.
I, for one, I don't believe in distant relationship. I just feel like if I can't see you, then it can't work. Like I need to see you. I need to monitor. I need to monitor you. And not even monitor you, but I just need to see you. Because I think that's the only way I can tell that, okay, this person loves me. I have to see, I have to feel your presence around me, because I need to see that some things are, right. There are some persons, you don't get to know people. That's the thing. Sometimes you even stay with some persons for years and you don't even know them half. True. So talk more about someone that you are not seeing, you only communicate via phone, maybe WhatsApp calls, video calls. It's really very difficult. I've seen people who live, they love each other so well, but they leave and they tell you, oh, the distance is too much. I don't think we can do this.
Oh, but it's different. Even people who are together in Nigeria, you don't completely know the person 100%. And if he's doing something shady or she's doing something shady, you are together, you will not find out. So what's the difference? I always say. But the truth is, like I said, sometimes people who are mature, who completely understand these issues and know that, hey, for as much as we have feelings for each other, but it cannot work because of this, or the fact of she's trying to get her paper, she can't come abroad. It's just better to go your separate ways and don't waste time. It's hard. Those decisions are hard, but if they say when you truly love someone, truly you want the best for that individual, and if it's not working, distance is a factor, communication is a barrier, being together, it's playing out. Maybe it's just destiny, you're not meant to be. So just go your separate ways. But sometimes, I will tell you for free, long distance relationships actually work and yield to blissful marriages.
All right, so can I say this is kind of like a 50-50 win? It can actually go south and also
yes,
good, right?
Yes, it can. Yes.
All right, thank you so much, Jumai.
You're welcome. You're a relationship expert.
Yes, you are a relationship expert. Thank you for your contribution to today's topic.
You're most welcome, Olga.
As the conversation continues online, the debate raises a bigger question. Can love truly survive distance? Or does relocation change everything? Well, you've heard from Jumai Manson. And what do you think? Use the social media handles you're seeing right on your screen. And make sure you drop your thoughts to be part of the conversation. All right? This is the size of the conversation today on Social Buzz on Global Morning. I am Ogochukwu. Once again, good morning, Nigeria and the rest of the world. Jumai and Uyi will be bringing us into the discussion section of Global Morning. So stay with us. Bye for now.
When social media speaks, we listen and we bring you the extra. It's your one-stop shop for trends, tweets, and the tea everyone's sipping on. Join the conversation. Share your thoughts and get that extra dose of what's shaking the internet.
And on issues making wave on social media to your doorstep.
Social Buzz Extra, where the trend meets the talk, only on Global TV.
Wake up with Global Morning, your daily guide to what's happening and making the rounds.
We delve into headlines, newspaper reviews, spot-on analysis, policies, current events, real talk, real issues that affect us all.
From the latest trends to the debate, every topic, every angle, Global Morning is where it all starts.
Global Morning,
For the latest issues,
always on point.
Watch Global Morning Monday to Friday at 7 a.m. Saturday and Sunday at 8 a.m. on Global Television.
Our language, our vibrant culture and colorful tradition, our industrious and hospitable people. This is Nigeria, a nation that prides itself in abundant human and natural resources. From east to west, north to south, we sparkle, we shine, we have a common bond. Fellow Nigerians, let's do away with ethnic, religious, and regional sentiments that divide us as a people. God has blessed us and empowered us to find strength in diversity. Let's make our faith and way of worship our source of unity as we build a nation that stays united. Nigeria, together today, together always. This is a public announcement brought to you by Global Television.
Wake up with Global Morning, your daily guide to what's happening and making the rounds.
We delve into headlines, newspaper reviews, spot-on analysis, policies, current events, real talk, real issues that affect us all.
From the latest trends to the debate, every topic, every angle, Global Morning is where it all starts.
Global Morning,
For the latest issues,
always on point.
Watch Global Morning Monday to Friday at 7 a.m. Saturday and Sunday at 8 a.m. on Global Television.
In an age of breaking news, you need a trusted source that prioritizes accurate, factual, and unbiased reporting. This is AM News, and I am Ubong Usoro.
On Global Television, our news is rooted in verified and authoritative storytelling that keeps you educated, informed, and enlightened on all the issues that matter to you. I am Sadia Yakubu. This is Midday News.
You can trust a multi-platform news broadcast real-time and fast-check stories for all the big local and foreign headlines round the clock. I am Ramsey Enoch Agbo. This is News Express.
Our array of anchors delivers the news to our teeming viewers, breaking it down with context and perspective. This is News Cycle on Global Television. I am Anieti Patrick.
And the flagship news is your hub for the day's most engaging stories. This is News Prime, and I am Jumai Manson.
Did you miss any of our news rounds? No worries. Catch up at 10 p.m. and midnight, 7 days of the week. I am Mukhtar Kasim.
Global TV is on DSTV channel 365 and Star Times channel 276. We're active across all social media platforms at Global TV NG.
Global TV News, accurate and unbiased. I'm Uyi Agmofwebe. If there's anything the All Progressives Congress, that is the ruling APC, basically boasts of at this point in time, it is the base of support groups that it has, whether you call them city boy movements or the several other supports, if you like, formations across the country or even beyond that it has. The APC has now looked at all of this to say, in aggregate, it is confident it will win elections in 2027, beginning with the presidential. But then you're asking yourself, what exactly is the role of support groups in Nigeria as it stands today? Plus, in the case of APC in particular, what unique advantage do these support groups bring to the party? Well, we have one of such very pivotal support groups here in Abuja and across the country, doing the spread, as we've seen in recent times. Of course, their leaders are also here to speak to some of these issues and then help us understand some of the things regarding the APC right now as the country moves closer to the 2027 general elections. I'm joined by two gentlemen. First of all is Dr. Oke Idawene. Of course, is a member of the All Progressives Congress. He's also the Director General, Integrity Group of Nigeria. So good to see you.
Thank you for having me. Good morning to the world.
And then next to him is the Secretary, the National Secretary of the Integrity Group of Nigeria, Silas Agwom. Again, it's also a pleasure to see you this morning.
Thank you, Mr. Presenter. Thank you, listeners, and thank you for having me. Good morning.
Amazing. So, gentlemen, let's get started. I'm going to start with you, Dr. Idawene. You've been here quite a number of times. We've talked about the renewed hope agenda. We've talked about what exactly the APC considers as its substantial advantage in 2027. But let's now talk about integrity groups. There are people who believe that integrity groups are just some sort of hustle ideas, just so you can get a piece of the action or get a piece of the national cake while it lasts.
Well, first and foremost, integrity is self-sponsored. We are not government-driven. We are a body of collective individuals, pan-Nigerians, who believe in good governance.
Are they all members of APC?
No, both APC members and non-members that believe in Mr. President. Even at the state level, some farmers, some teachers, civil servants, they may not be politicians or politically inclined to any party. But when they believe in the ideas of the president and the integrity group. Now, the integrity group, we say it the way it is. Our uniform is white. It means purity, it means peace, and it means progress. And now, if you look at it critically, you will see that people outside think, like you said, it's a hustling thing. We've done almost 200 million naira programs for Mr. President. We've not got a dime from any government person. The man who is a national patron, who is High Chief Martins Wambweze, the Yakubu Dike worldwide from Umudoka, is a pillar behind the group. He's an associate of Prince Atoize. He's also of the group, and he's the backbone of the group. And you can see that people like Naji, Chief Uche Naji, they have joined. And the National
Minister of Science and
Technology, the BOT chairman is immediate past Governor Ifeanyi Okowa. Secretary of the BOT is Senator Dr. Manzi George Anthony, former ambassador of Nigeria to Israel. And we have so the likes of Chief Kolawole Fatai from Osun State is a national patron. The list is long. Professor Senator Nora Dadut, the current Nigerian ambassador to South Korea, is the mother of the group. The list is long. I cannot start mentioning everybody here. Then even in Delta, we've done over hundreds of millions in supporting my governor. Is not driven by government. Because we started from Delta before we spread all over the country. Today we have 36 structures, 60 structures, and the FCT. So it is a group that is different from other groups. The ideology is that give what you can for Nigeria, support the president's good policies, and echo his re-election. Like I said, you had it this morning. I was echoing. You don't change a winning team. And that is what we are standing for. And the national chairman, this morning is received by 11 o'clock a.m. in his office as national chairman of APC. He's this morning as an a follow-up from the national symposium we just have. So Integrity Group, you see common Nigerians traveling down to our programs in Abuja, in Osun, in Delta, in Yobe, just name it, and they go back with their own resources. And it's strange. People think that when they say, what are you sending me honorarium? We do it and we believe that we're doing it for Nigeria. So it's not a hustling thing, it's a genuine thing, and we have organic followership. We don't buy crowd. When we want to do our programs, our members travel down to where we're doing the program and they look at it. And Integrity Group is not just for Tinubu, it's to outlive this administration. That's why it is different. We're planning to go into West Africa, to Africa, and even to the UN to have it as a body that will become, we support good governance. Where there is bad governance, we'll stand against it.
All right,
so that's why it is Integrity Group of Nigeria for now. Very soon, it will go international. However, we have diaspora chapters.
All right.
We have diaspora chapters. We have the DG diaspora. We have Dr. Mrs. Chuka. We have the Secretary diaspora, and we will have a diaspora meeting soon to also push the group further. So it's going to be, and we also have aspirants under us that are sellable that we're also going to push in these coming elections.
All right.
So it's not just a hustling thing. We're not that yeah.
It's a structured
package.
system.
We have sufficient manpower to do what we are doing.
Let me talk to Silas at this
and even my governor has been a supporter, and the wife has been supporting the governor. Is my, I call him my inspiration because it started from him before we metamorphosed into national. And the wife, God bless you, Mommy Delta, and they have done well for the group, but we expect more. Because the word more is very popular in Delta State.
Let me talk to Silas for a second. Silas, you see, I want to talk to you about young people. It appears when it comes to these are democracy in Nigeria, when it comes to elections, it is the old guard that usually would stand for elections, win elections, and eventually take over offices. To that extent, for the most part, what you're saying is a situation, sadly so, where the young people, the youth as they are generically called, are only used to support those processes. And these are the people who populate the support groups. At what point are we going to have young people play a very substantial role? Not a case of pointing one or two ministers who are youth. No, I'd like him to respond to that. Maybe you can tell me that when it's done.
Well, thank you for having me once more. I think in this government we have to be fair to Mr. President because he has been doing justice to that by making sure that he carried the youth along in his government. And unlike previous administration where you see a particular set of people prioritizing their interests, but Mr. President, as the leader in this country, has been doing justice to that. And even though we are appealing to him to do more, and we see the desire and the interest in doing that. Mr. President, and that is why we are supporting his governance. Just like our slogan stands that Integrity, a group of Nigeria, is supporting good governance and is part of the criteria that Mr. President is using in order to inculcate the youth into the entire system.
Interesting. Okay, so let me follow up with another question. That has to do with this last e-registration that your party, the APC, did. I'm very sure the Integrity Group was also part of that process, trying to drive numbers in terms of membership registration. Did it make any difference? And really, are people interested in joining political parties in Nigeria? Does that process show that people are enthusiastic about membership of political parties? Again, I'm going to circle back to you after a response.
Yes, particularly in my state, Plateau State, we are overwhelmed with members of joining the party in Plateau State. It will interest you to know that Plateau State was a PDP state where we see the governor have actually switched into APC because of the leadership quality of the national chairman, Professor Nantawe Yilwada.
A man that ran against him in 2023.
Yes. You know, you see, when we begin to see things like this, you understand that, yes, it is a vehicle that will actually carry everybody along. I could remember in his submission, he said that his party had a flat tire, so he has to join the vehicle that is moving. So APC as a political party in Plateau and Nigeria at large is a vehicle that is ready to carry everybody along. So I'm very, very proud to say that the members that are joining the party through this e-registration, the statistic is encouraging.
It appears the APC is the only party that has 4 tires, has a spare tire, and has a vulcanizer as well. Every other party now has a flat tire all of a sudden. Okay, so you want to add to that, I'm sure, but let me add a question. You see, when you have this argument, you have this position that Nigeria is safe and secure, when you have events like you had this last dialogue in Abuja, people travel from across the country by road into Abuja. There are people who look at you like you are either not a resident in this country or you're just, as it were, marketing your party against what the reality says.
I laugh in vernacular because even at the symposium, in my speech, I began with a VIP in Nigeria. She is a resource person to development of the country. Let me see. Dr. Mrs. Mary Koko. She traveled from Abia State, Umuahia. She left Umuahia 3:34 p.m. and got to Abuja 3 a.m., 4 a.m. No escort. They drove themselves into Abuja. That is just one instance. Is that me? No. Today, my media team are returning back to Delta.
From Abuja?
From Abuja, 4 p.m. through Zuba. They will arrive Delta 5 a.m. tomorrow. You see, emotions and lies and sentiment cannot save us. I do travel that way at times. I'm still in Abuja. The issue of you don't reside in Nigeria is an error because I'm mobile. We have 36 state structure of the group, so I'm always on the road, week in, week out. There are a few times I fly. I don't travel with escort. I don't travel with. I go alone, enter the public vehicle, and we move. We arrive safely. I agree that once in a while, flashes of security challenges occur everywhere in the world, not just Nigeria. However, if you want to see how the president is securing this country, please travel at night. For every 1 kilometer in the road between North Central to Edo to Delta, there are soldiers on the road 1 kilometer. How else should a man secure a country? A man who could retire again, a general, and make him minister for defense? So the security challenge you ask me, you see, it's always smiling because it is what I even use in discussing the symposium. However, like I always say, commiserations to those that lost their lives in 1 or 2 challenges. And what we're doing is that the president has said it will not happen again. That is why he has been able to open his doors for the international bodies to also support us in information gathering. And I also said in the symposium, Nigerians give security agents information. It is not a magic. However, Nigerian system is also working a way to get information, but 1 + 1 is 2. Security is for you and I. It's a collective responsibility to tell. If I hear an information about a challenge coming, I should tell the security agent close to me. I should ask Nigerians, how many of them have their DPO's number? How many have their area commander's number? How many have the CP's number of Abuja? How many have the CP's number of their state? They don't have it because the nocturnal attitudes of us has to change. It has to change. Change, positive change starts from you and I. Not to sit in your houses, sentiments. You go and bring video of 5-10 years ago. Something is happening here. I've seen so many. I've traced them. They say it's just cruise. You're causing cruise and you're painting the government dark. You cannot paint it dark. It remains white and will get better. What I'm saying here in Categoria is that the country is getting better security-wise and will improve. The president will encourage him to do more. The integrity group will continue to support him. Like the national chairman has said, he gave us a driving charge on Monday in the symposium that look, let's go. Now let me shock you. 31 states came for the program. only 6 persons flew. The rest from Anambra, from Yobe, from Borno. The Borno station man made a comment in the symposium. From Yobe, from Plateau, from even the Jos itself. They all came from Jos, delegates. From Ebonyi, all came by road. They have all returned back home without a pitch. Is that okay? That way, the answer is no. So when I say that the country, if there's no security in this country, we cannot be seated here this morning for this conversation.
But those people who are kidnapped on the roads, for example, I mean, ransoms are demanded. Are those not Nigerian roads?
You don't get it. When I started, I said...
Are you saying it's not as bad as people say?
I'm saying that if in 100, you have 80% positive and 20% negative, that's an A. That is an A.
The question now is, who is with the ranking?
That's an A. No, I'm just giving you an...
Right.
Okay, presenter, I want to say that after the show, I'll come and pick you up by, say, 2 p.m., 3 p.m. Let's go to Utako.
I have no idea what my schedule is like.
Okay, please, I'll beg you for your time. Let's go to... You carry your camera, let's go to Utako. You will see the number of Exodus travelers from... When I use the word Exodus travelers, in the numbers from Abuja to all parts of the country through the night. Then if 20 vehicles travel today, nothing happened. Throughout the month, there may be one challenge come. We need not say that the country is not secure. If there's no security, why will the drivers ply the road at night? So what I'm trying to say is that I'm not saying it is the best we have. I'm saying that it's getting better. But we must stop castigating or whipping sentiment when there are no issues. Things happen. Can you secure 100% a nation? Is America secured 100%? Let me make bold to ask President Trump this morning. Is America secured 100%?
I think that's a good question you asked, and I want to follow up with another one.
Yeah.
Now that you have mentioned America.
Yes.
Talking about securing a country.
Securing a country, yes.
America has intervened in our security situation for quite a while now. And the most recent is that there's a lawmaker in the US now demanding the Nigerian government, or if you like, proposing to sack Minister of States for Defense, former governor of Zamfara States, Matawale. When you look at all of that, for example, is that not a sign that we're not in a good place at all, beyond all of the pictures you've painted here?
If we're not in a good sign, the America will not appreciate the fact that Nigerian security agents are doing well because we're having collaboration. They are better than us security-wise. The question I ask is not to challenge America, is to make a natural thing that no country, nowhere is secure 100%. They must, because the heart of humans are different, and some are just prone to crime. They enjoy doing crime. Such a person, you keep trailing and taming and becomes until you get him out of the system. So the U.S. congressman that is doing that he should sack Minister of State for Defense, I think he is not in the position to decide what happens within the country. Can only advise, like you said. The Minister for Defense, General Musa Chris, I got my heart this morning, and he knows that man is working under him, and if it's not good enough, he should make a recommendation that the president should do what? Should remove him, not the man in Congress, because you cannot say 100% of a thing. For example, I'm an APC chieftain by the grace of God. I will state things that are happening in the APC. You saw our National Chairman and Secretary talking on the news yesterday on media chat. It was interesting and educative. So if I can state things that are happening in APC, I cannot jump over to other parties to say this. So Nigeria is like APC, America is another party. So let the congressman allow the president and those in charge of security things here to know what to do about who is doing well and who is not doing well. Very soon we're going to rate the ministers.
By what scorecard?
Scorecard. I'm telling you, I'm going to have a routine of checking on what they have achieved in their ministries. Then we're going to have in case you pay them courtesy visits, and we'll make both statements the way it is. My slogan is, it is what it is, and you don't paint it. Say it the way it is. You did ask me here that what will I do if I'm the president for Minister of Power. I told him I will sack him, and I just state the truth. So that is why we are Integrity Group, and our target is to give the president, we're about 5.3 million members right now. Our target is to get president 10 million voters come to 2027.
Everybody is beginning to promise the president votes now. My governor has promised him 2.5 million votes since last year. But let's move away from pledges of votes now. Salas, I want to talk to you about several situations we've had, but let's begin with the first. The APC appears to always be in defense of INEC. The APC appears to be in defense of the other faction, the Nafiu Gombe faction of the ADC. What's the APC afraid of? If the same APC has boasted that we have 31 governors on our side, we have the highest number of federal legislators, whether Senate or House of Representatives, what exactly is the nightmare for the APC?
Well, you know, in politics, sometimes politics is won based on sentiment of the moment. And I believe that is what the opposition is relying on. And the reality here is that, you know, when you have refused to fix your house and begin to accuse someone, ideally, APC as a political party should be looking for a way to cause problem for an opposition so that an opposition will not win him at the end of the day. But if you as a household holder is not able to harmonize your house, who do you want to fix your house for you? If you look at the cases from point 1 to point 2, just like David Mark led faction and the owner of the party per se.
Who is the owner of the party?
The former chairman of the name escapes my memory, please. The present chairman of ADC. They were in court. They were in court. You understand? And they are still.
Is it Nafiu Balagombe?
Yes, Nafiu Balagombe. You understand? He went to court, and the court pronounced that he is the chairman of the party. And there are several judgments in regard to that. Is that the APC chairman that pronounced that? It is a court, and the court in this country has the power to decide who stands for what and what stands for who. So in this case, it is baseless for people to begin to accuse APC of being responsible for their crisis in their houses. You know, when you refuse to, even as a household man, if you refuse to take care of your children, do justice to your children, definitely you will have problem in your house. So they have a responsibility to fix their house. APC as a political party has a national convention. Do you hear any complaint elsewhere? There's no complaint because of the leadership quality. I put it to you, ADC and other political party cannot fix Nigeria. Common political party they cannot fix. And you are coming to fix Nigeria that has diverse challenges. I remove cap for President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. He's a leader, and that is why he decided to harmonize the party members and everybody. That's why you see we have a hitch-free national convention. No case, nothing in the court. So ADC as a political party and other oppositions, let them go back and fix their houses. President Tinubu is a Democrat. And he will not, of course, love to contest this election alone. He also needs people to at least, so that at the end of the day, some vote will be given, some vote will be gotten to other presidential candidates, and at the end of the day, he will declare the winner. I am telling you, this country today, we don't need try-and-error leadership. We need somebody who understands the concept. And President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, as the president of this country, he was once a governor. Look at all these people that are agitating to become the presidents of this country. Some of them have hold position. Let's be sincere to each other. What did they do when they were in position that today they want to come and tell that they want to save Nigeria? It's a shame. We all see what happens during their time. I don't want to mention them. I don't want to be rude in this thing. But the reality is there. The facts are there. The facts are there. Their performance are there in the public domain. All of a sudden, they have now become so clean to an extent to convince Nigeria that they can do best. President Bola Ahmed Tinubu is trying to fix Nigeria, and I want to appeal to all Nigerians that we should support this government, and they should allow this gentleman to do 8 years, just like the North have already done their 8 years, so that we have peace and unity in this country. Of course, he's trying. In terms of security, in terms of trying to harmonize the economy of the country. So I felt that there is no need for dragging. Let's give him more time to fix the country as it is. Thank you.
I want to ask you a second question. Do you realize, like most Nigerians do, that it was once Kwankwaso moved into the ADC that this fire, all of this drama got ramped up within the party? I spoke with a gentleman here just last week, and I asked him, I said, if, for example, the ADC were to settle for an Obi-Kwankwaso combination, what will that mean for not just the APC, but for the political landscape? He said it will do two things. It will upset the political landscape, and then the APC and indeed Villa will not be able to have sleep. Does that not scare your party?
It doesn't scare us. Because you know what? I want to tell you that the worst thing you can do against yourself is to pretend to be busy but doing nothing. These people are just seeking for relevance. They are not contesting election. The likes of Nasiru El-Rufai, Kwankwaso, you see, these people go privately to the president and put their demand. If the president is not ready to answer their demand, they became opposition. Just like the case of Nasiru El-Rufai. Let me ask you, if to say today Nasiru El-Rufai is a minister in this government, will he be making noise the way he is making? Something happened somewhere. And President Bola Ahmed Tinubu is a smart leader that understands all these people. They have been in the system and he understands who is who in this country. And that is why most of them, they went to the president, make personal demands, and when their personal demand is not being met up, they became opposition. Is it Kwankwaso? Have you not seen viral videos on social media having secret meetings with the president? What were they discussing? That today they didn't meet. See, this country belongs to all of us. It is high time that our elders who have lived in the past, to stop this monopoly of knowledge. They are trying to confuse Nigerians in such a way that at the end of the day we will not know what we are doing. But to God be the glory. We have understand and we have learned in a hard way. And it's not going to be business as usual. I can assure you in 2027, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu is not contested with anybody. The election has ceased to be a contest already.
Okay, so whatever we're going to do by way of election is just some sort of ritual, not necessarily a contest.
Yeah, it's not actually a contest because people who are contesting with him are not even qualified enough to occupy that position.
All right, incidentally, we will have the time and resources to look at their credentials now to determine whether they are qualified. I want us to talk about the internal structures of your party. Many people I talk to, of course, the APC guys won't come on air to say that, publicly, but off the records, they tell you, look, President Bola Tinubu is the rally point, he's the pivot of the APC. If you remove the Tinubu factor from the APC, there won't be a political party anymore. Shouldn't that be very concerning for your party, post-Tinubu era in terms of legacy?
No, it will be a challenge because at every point in time, a father is a father. So presently, we have one father, who is President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, fathering all of us in APC. And naturally, once his tenure expires, the president of the country and the political party is the leader and father of that party. We definitely have a sweet history handover to another father. So there's no vacuum and there will be no challenge. A lion begets a lion. So the president will also, as a chief strategist, will hand us over to another chief strategist. So relax yourself, there will be no issues. If we can have 31 governors, persons, all of us coming into a party, they say it will implode. Where has it imploded to? Nowhere.
But it was early to say it will implode.
It will not implode.
You told me here that 1 hour can change a lot in politics. And the election will happen even on the eve of election.
Let me tell you why it will not implode. The APC has enough sophisticated manpower to manage all internal issues, mechanism to make sure that everybody has a sense of belonging. And once you are carried along, that you have a sense of belonging, I think there will be no issue for crying foul. Like I did say here before, that any dissenting voice in APC right now is either a mole or not a member of the party. That as far as we are concerned, we are one voice, one message, one information, one party to take us to the 2027 general election. So
is it your opinion that you don't have disgruntled people in the APC? And I'll tell you why this is. I've spoken to members of your party, some of them as ranking as you are too. They say, look, we may not have issues with the APC. We are comfortable here, want to stay here for the foreseeable future. However, there are members of our party, card-carrying, bona fide members of our party, who do not have that sense of belonging that you referred to a while ago. Hold on a second. And I asked, what exactly do they want? What's the gap? He says they don't have appointments at any level, in any capacity, no patronage of any kind, no contract whatsoever, and things like that. Will the APC not be living in denial? Will it not be foolhardy as well for your party to go into election with such a bandwagon? Is that not dangerous?
Everybody can have an appointment at the same time.
They can't get contract, they can't get patronage,
you can't get patronage. From, I did tell you earlier that we've spent hundreds of millions propagating the government from
that's just
Delta.
one group.
Yes, that's just one. Hundreds, yes, from Delta to the entire country. We've done a lot. We've done summit for the president in Abuja, in Shogbo, in Delta. We've done 1 million man march for the governor, for the president. I'm coming now.
You're paying for hotel.
I use
water and food.
We use our funds, my funds, like-minded funds. Like I told you, we have some persons, Aishimaz Akubudike and the likes, standing behind us to say, okay, you have a 100 million project, I have 50 to bring, look for the other 50 and let's go, or I'm paying all. We have them. So like I said before now, what we're doing is, I cannot also say that I want to revolt against the president because he has not given us patronage. Then it told me that your niche from the word go, your ulterior motive was to grab, not to work, then you shop. The workshop here is that you're genuinely loyal to the system, you're using your resources, you're doing your thing. One day, those people they have tried, put them on board. And like I said before, the reward system is not bad. I was now in Delta attending the birthday party when they called me to be a National Convention Committee member. And believe you me, other members of the executive were also picked and added them to the convention. Why? Because of what we're doing for the party. Somebody said, no, they are good to go. I didn't lobby for it. I didn't expect it. But here we are. It's added to my credentials. So why would I not say that I'm going to revote if I was not picked? There will be primaries. There will be other assignment for party. If they can pick us, they will see pick us. You say every other support group, please be patient. Every other person in the APC, there is one uncle I have in Delta. His name is Tom by Tom, TBT. In life, that is my philosophy, that's my opinion. So if you have not been picked, like in Delta, we've been working for the government. We've been doing all we can. We know that someday, somehow, they will just say, okay, fine, Dr. Okay, bring 5 people for appointment, and I will submit them. I'm an aide to the governor of Delta State, but senior aide for that matter. And those that are working with me for years now for the government, they are steadfast promoting the government, the more agenda in the state. That we call it renewal for more agenda in Delta. The more agenda is for the governor, the renewal is for the president. We combine it together in Delta. Today, they are still there. This year, we have had 3 programs for my governor in Delta. We've endorsed the president and the governor in Delta. Nobody has come to give us money for what we're doing, but we believe in it. I had an engagement with the first lady. He said, look, you're doing well. Remain steadfast. Don't expect to be paid back, but one day somehow the support will come. And by and large, at times they give us a permanent slot to give to members, I will give out. There are times 1 or 2 challenges come and say, okay, fine, okay, go to A and B. I will get it. So I'm coming out. Yes. A child cannot go and drag the father that I'm disfathering you or fathering you, as the English may be, that you have not loved me so much and I'm doing house chores in the house. No, now. A legitimate child, a reasonable child who will be patient with the father will one day, like you are serving God, whether in the mosque or in the church or whatever, and you say God has not blessed you, you want to fight God. It doesn't make sense. You will wait for your time to come because under the earth there is time for everything. Turn by turn. It is still APC members. It is turn by turn.
I spoke with a PDP chieftain here just on Sunday evening, and he told me, look, he said the president may not be doing it on purpose. I mean, he's a human being, he has his own limitations. This is a PDP chieftain talking. He said, but there are people who are genuinely concerned about the fact that they are not being carried along. He gave an instance, real life instance. He said, look at guys like Femi Fani-Kayode, look at people like Reno Mokri. These are people who have said extremely unprintable things about the president in the past, in recent past. Now you've made those guys ambassadors, and there are people who have been with the president right from the AD days. They have never flinched, they have never batted an eyelid, yet those presidents are relegated to the background. He says, how do you say such a party pursues fairness and equity, for example?
Before now, let me bring back myself. Before now,
they'll be thinking like
I'm saying as an APC member, an APC leader, an APC messenger. The point now is, before now, there are people who are more eloquent than I am, or who do media works for the states.
Their white is brighter
than my own, and they were not picked to become publicity media committee of National Convention. Are you getting me? Today, I have a letter, official letter, signed by Masari and the rest as a member of that. That's a CV. Somebody will tell you that why Dr. Oke, that is just beginning in APC 2 years ago. The point is that there are things in life you don't have control over. Fani-Kayode, meaning that the generals among us, the party knows them, the president knows them. Those who can perform at a particular time, the party knows them. You don't teach a man who is leading you what to do. But my appeal this morning is that the reward system can be improved upon.
So you think there's gap?
Yeah, I'm not saying there is gap.
So
it can be improved. It can be improved. No, life is, we pray for betterment day by day. So from good can become better. Better can become best. So one or two persons have run out to me. Even some of the national schools of integrity group, they have run pressure groups before. They were like, can we do this again? I said, let's go. Two cases cannot be exactly the same. They will look similar, but they will be different. I said, well, the integrity group has its own grace. Other groups have their own grace. What we are doing now in this country, no group has done it. We had a symposium where discussant came, House of Rep member, 2 House of Rep member, the coordinating director of operations of tax FRS, who just left the office 2 months ago, was around to educate Nigerians on what the tax means. We had other VIPs on the roundtable discussion for almost 1 hour, questions and answers, why they should give the president a chance to lead again. So we are saying here that the reward system should be better. Let the leaders also do better, but they are not done badly. They can improve. That's what I'm saying. And a rebellious person is worse than a wizard or a witch. I keep saying that. Wherever you believe in, if we have a challenge now, if we have a quarrel now, and you start telling me my errors and my bad character, or you start saying derogatory about me, you never loved me from the way, you never believed in me. Because you believe in me, you love covering multitude of sin. You get it? So we should also learn to remain where we are and believe in what we are doing. Anybody in APC castigating APC right now is either a mole or a genuine member of the APC. We are APC, body, soul, and spirit, and we'll try our best to make sure that the party gets better. The token, the little we can do, we will do. Like after the program of the symposium, I had to raise money on my own to support some people that cried that they cannot go back on their own. And we did that. Nobody gave us money from anywhere. And we're doing that. Like I told you, people are what they are for what they believe in. Where your treasure is, your heart will lie. And right now, our treasure is in President Bola Tinubu's government. Nobody is more democratic than that man. Where is Nadeko? Who was in Nadeko? That's the man. That's the man who was a governor, and other people from other states, Kwara, Ogun, and even Delta, they were part of his cabinet. And today, the rest of Redman that came to represent to the symposium on the Ogene Ego is an honorable man who won House of Rep 2 tenures in Lagos State under the leadership of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. That's how liberal the man is. You can't get it better than that man. So we beg him to give us somebody better than him when the tenures expire. 2 tenures he's going to get.
Well, I'd like to talk to Salas. Let's begin to wrap things up now, right? As it stands today, we understand there's concern, very palpable concern around the choice of appointments by the president. The North is not very comfortable because by their own calculation, and they've put out the case very clearly, that look, there's so much of lopsidedness in the appointments that the president has made, especially those key appointments that have to do with revenue generation. They are all in the South. In fact, Senator Ali Ndume would call them the Lagos boys. Don't you think that could haunt and hurt your party in 2027?
Yes, I have been into politics, and the same thing has been emphasized over and over. Even during President Muhammadu Buhari, that was the same agitation. Appointments were in the north. Buhari picked his brothers, sisters, and put them in juicy positions, all and that. You see, what people don't know is that what role does President Muhammadu Buhari, President Tinubu has now is to deliver the country. And in delivering the country, you need capable hands to put in strategic positions in order for you to succeed.
So what happens to federal character?
Well, when I'm saying that, I'm not saying that he's not taking note of federal character. To be honest, when you go and look at this appointment, all these agitations are people who feel that my brother should be in a particular position and he has not gotten. But truth be told, Nigeria, in fact, we are getting it right. For instance, you see here in FCT Abuja, I wanted to also chip in an issue of some people are complaining that they have not been considered this and that. You understand? You see, what more important now is we need capable hands that will deliver this country. For instance, we have been having FCT ministers here in Abuja. Look at what Wike is doing as a minister of FCT. We have never had it this way. The last minister was from the north, and this is not. It was, you can talk about it. What I'm trying to say is that we should forget about our personal interests, regional, this thing, this and that. This country belongs to all of us. If we have good leaders, I am telling you, development will go everywhere. It's all about personal interests that bring about all these agitations. But I can tell you that Mr. President has done well when it comes in terms, and he's a man who is very, very smart. When he knows that you have the ability to deliver in a particular sector, he brings you in. Wike is in PDP as we speak, is still in PDP today. But because we have a president that has foresight, that have leadership quality, that thinks about the country, he's looking for capable hands to put in strategic positions. And that is what he is doing. So the issue of he pick this and that is not true. There are so many people in this government from the north. If you keep on mentioning them, there are many. But we are not talking about who is there. But we are talking about who can do it. That is what we are doing. Rather, the discussion should be, okay, he was able to put A, Mr. B, Mr. C, and they were not able to deliver. That should be the discussion. But it's not about who is from north and who is from south. The agitation has been there since during the times of President Muhammadu Buhari, where some people in the south complained that Muhammadu Buhari picked northerners and gave them juicy positions. That has been the discussion. But we have a president that is focused. He doesn't listen to distraction. What he is after is to deliver the agenda and the promises he promised Nigerians. He is concentrating on the hope, the renewed hope agenda that he is trying to deliver to Nigerians. And of course, we are celebrating. I want to tell you something today that I will never forget in this administration. You know, gone are days where when you go to places, I was a former councillor, where you see people trooping to your house. I don't have school fees. I want to go to school. I don't have anybody to sponsor my school. But with the introduction of a student, yes, we can see so many of them that were not having hope before, but they are celebrating today. Courtesy the president. we should learn how to appreciate. Nigerians have been complaining about governance since 1999, and they are still complaining today. We cannot become a successful nation in one day. It's a process. All what we need is support. Not, I want to become the president. No, my opponent has not done well, so we should send him away. Nigeria is a country that needs sensitive, intelligent, and well-experienced leader, and that person can only be seen in President Bola Ahmed Tinubu.
All right, gentlemen, this APC conversation is almost endless because elections are at least a couple of months away. But we'll continue to monitor your group and other groups, and then of course keep an eye out on your party to see how its own odds stack up against the opposition. But let me say a big thank you to you for coming on the program. I've been talking with leaders of the Integrity Group of Nigeria. My immediate left here is Dr. Oke Idawene, is the Director General of the group, and Salas Agwam is the National Secretary. Here's wishing you the best of today, gentlemen.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. Before I leave, let me appreciate every member of Integrity Group of Nigeria that came for the symposium.
By road,
especially the risk, but nothing happened.
And they're all heading back.
They have already arrived safely and hearty. Well, and kudos to all of you for nation building, psychological responsibility. And above all, thank God for joining us, and thank your station too for standing by for us. And we also partner in this by the grace of God. Thank you.
Nigeria belongs to us.
Thank you.
We're taking a quick break now, everyone. When we return, we'll talk about wellness, how it has to do with health, and what our role in all of this is. Stay with us. Wake up with Global Morning, your daily guide to what's happening and making the rounds.
We delve into headlines, newspaper reviews, spot-on analysis, policies, current events, real talk, real issues that affect us all.
From the latest trends to the debate, every topic, every angle, Global Morning is where it all starts.
Global Morning,
For the latest issues,
always on point.
Watch Global Morning Monday to Friday at 7 a.m. Saturday and Sunday at 8 a.m. on Global Television.
Our language, our vibrant culture and colorful tradition, our industrious and hospitable people. This is Nigeria, a nation that prides itself in abundant human and natural resources. From east to west, north to south, we sparkle, we shine, we have a common bond. Fellow Nigerians, let's do away with ethnic, religious, and regional sentiments that divide us as a people. God has blessed us and empowered us to find strength in diversity. Let's make our faith and way of worship our source of unity as we build a nation that stays united. Nigeria, together today, together always. This is a public announcement brought to you by Global Television.
Well, let's get started with a second conversation, everyone. The Global Wellness Day, also called GW, theme for 2026 is Joy Magenta, celebrating its 15th anniversary. It says the theme focuses on cultivating joy as an international, as an intentional, I should say, daily and restorative practice to fight stress and disconnection. It also promotes joy through 4 pillars: gratitude, connection, movement, and creativity. But all of these revolve around health, and no doubt about that. But then we have a resource person, an expert, to help us find out exactly what this means. Dr. Ejike Oji is the Chairman, Management Committee Association of the Advancement of Family Planning, CSO Focal Point FP 2030, and convener 5 Million Women Database. Dr. Oji, thank you for taking our time to join us on the program.
Yeah, thank you so much, and good morning, everyone.
Good morning. Thank you for being here.
What exactly does it mean when you say well-being? Because in Nigeria, it appears if I can have a 5-bedroom bungalow fenced with dogs around it on the fence, and then I am guaranteed 3 square meals, I have a car or 2, I have a family living in health. That's wellness. Is there more to it?
Well, it's part of it, maybe peace of mind.
Right.
But most importantly, if we look at health, what does the WHO say that you're in good health? And then I like to make it as simple as possible. It says the mere absence of illness or infirmity is not a confirmation that you are well, but you have to confirm, so to speak. In other words, you have to have done all your checks and then find out you have no problem. That's when you can say you are well. But a lot of people feel, because I'm walking around, I don't have any headache, I don't have any dizziness, I'm fine, I'm walking around, they feel they are well. That's completely wrong. You need to actively check to confirm that you're well. Now, talking about well-being in general, it's not just also making sure that you're healthy. You must also, for me, there are 3 P's I always talk about. One is protective, one is preventive, and one is promotive. So you need to do that on a daily basis for you to be able to say that you're well and you're doing well and you're in a good well-being platform, so to speak. So what do I mean? Your thinking processes, how you engage people, how you engage nature, how you give yourself a break, how you think of me first. You know, every time for some of us that are so, I will say God has blessed us in thinking about every other person.
Right.
So everybody's now also constantly telling me, okay, what you preach, do it. Think of yourself, me first also, be a little bit selfish, so that you'll be able to maintain a balance. And then it's even much more important when you have what I call an environment that most people say is a little not the best way it should be. How the fuel prices have gone up, the cost of living has gone up, the medical or the healthcare architecture of Nigeria is not the best, and I always like to put a proper situational analysis of it. When I trained as a young medical doctor in the 70s, when I graduated, I was doing, for 3 years, I was doing exchange program between here and King's College Hospital, London. Incidentally, the hospital that is partnering with the Afri-Exim Bank to build the very big and then world-class hospital in Kabusa. That was a hospital. They are providing the technical. This is one of the top teaching hospitals in London. So I was going there every 6 months in Nigeria for 3 years before I graduated. Okay, so when you look at up to 1984, I graduated in 1980. Up to 1984, have you been born then? No. Up to 1984, you could just buy a plane ticket and go to England and go for a job interview and enter into their health system. That will show you.
As a medical doctor?
As a medical doctor. up till 1984. That will show you how good our health system was. From 1984, they stopped that. Our health system has started degenerating a little bit, at least the training and the outcome in terms of the quality of doctors that were coming. So you need to now take what they call PLAB. PLAB is to confirm that you have the skills and ability to work in the health system. So why am I giving this analysis? You see, once the training of the doctors and nurses are going down, so also the workforce capacity. The World Health Organization says there are 6 pillars to health. One is leadership and governance, service delivery, workforce, medicaments, and then money, and of course monitoring and evaluating what you're doing continuously. So this is what has happened to Nigeria. So the hens have come to roost. And all this is combined with the population explosion. Everything is interconnected. 20 years ago, some of us were shouting at the highest of our voices, we are getting into trouble. We're going to be in trouble. Like I said, the hens have come to roost. There is, if you look at our population, it's a youthful one. 74% is under the age of 34. So that means there are a lot of young people who want something good. The way you love things of life, they also do. They like to eat good food. They like to wear fancy dresses. They want to love. They are human beings. If at that age, that's when the sex drive is strongest. So if they don't get it, they get it by force. So what happens when some of them can't get it the way? For the ones that are smarter, that are well-trained, we call the global citizens, they start immigrating. That's why you have a lot of people who now call it the Japa syndrome, isn't it? But that's not so bad because they are global citizens. There's what we call the diaspora economy, is about $7 trillion.
So there's remittances coming in.
Thank you very much. Nigeria has one of the highest remittances. That is the one that is tracked. From my side, the southeast, there's no time I go outside, somebody will give me about maybe 100, 200, 300, please give my parents, give my people. It's not documented. The undocumented inflows might even be as high as the documented one. So it's not so bad, even though it's also draining our brains. But Nigeria can hurry up and produce more. But the one that shows that there's a problem, when there are young people who have no skills and they are leaving your country.
That's dangerous.
That is the most dangerous. That's why I started shouting 20 years ago. Because I had an invitation by the Norwegian government, the National Development Minister of Norway. They invited me to part of about 5 reproductive leaders in Africa to come and work with them to develop a strategic approach of how to work with women, for women in Africa. When I sat down with the Development Minister, NORAD is their variant of USAID. The first question the man asked me, Dr. G, can you tell me why every single day 13 commercial sex workers will come into our country from Nigeria? 13. Every single day.
Wow, that's
so what is killed in commercial sex work? That was 20 years ago, 2006. And I was coming back, the International Office of Migration that year said that 14% of all young Africans trying to cross, I always put the tempestuous sea of the Mediterranean Sea, trying to cross from Africa to Europe, were Nigerians. 14%.
Wow.
Remember when Buhari came into power, 2015? I think the first 1 or 2 years, he sent aircrafts to Libya.
For evacuation.
They evacuated 20,000 Nigerians, young Nigerians. Those were the ones they could. The warlords had some sex slaves they couldn't allow them to go. Those are the ones that they found. Okay, then the final one is what we're having now. Insecurity all over the places. So why am I painting this picture? It's important for Nigerians to know how they started. And then for you to change this is a monumental amount of effort that has to be put in. And then this also affects our well-being. So you can see the health system is broken. The infrastructure to earning good health is broken. people's minds are broken. So it's a struggle, and people are dying every day.
You know what, Dr. Ejike, I want to interject a bit with all of these things that you're saying now. It's heartbreaking, definitely.
Yeah.
But how can we as Nigerians, when it comes to our overall well-being, when it comes to our psychological health, mental health, physical health, financial and all of that, how can we make it a habit to just stay in that balance, even when we see all of these disturbing issues all around us, not affecting our overall well-being?
That's a good question, and then that's what I call creating balance. There is a presentation I normally make, especially to my women folk. I call it the 7 wheels of life. 7 wheels of life. Or no, sorry, the seven spokes of life on a balance, a wheel of life. The 7 spokes of the wheel of life. What does that mean? I consider financial, that's your income, your financial health. Consider your social health. Consider your work health, work environment health. I consider your spousal health. I consider your, what is the 6th one?
Is family part of it?
Yeah, spousal.
Okay.
The spousal health,
Okay.
yes. But when we discuss, I remember the other
Okay,
two.
it's fine.
So let's now look at those ones. What is the social health? How do you interact with people? Not just from your family. Remember that 18 hours, most people spend 8 to 10, in some cases 18 hours of their life outside their family. Like I tell my colleagues in my office that even though you have your biological family, you want to have more, say, I'm proud, I'm attached to my family, know that your real family is your workplace.
Okay.
The reason is that when you leave, for your family, you take for granted because they are my blood. They'll take care of me, whatever I do.
I see them every day.
I see them every day and they don't have a choice. Even if I'm the worst son or the worst daughter, they'll still take care of me. But outside that, nobody has any attachment to you. It is who you are that will determine how much they will care for you. So you have to intentionally and deliberately build that culture of networking with people. So you have 2 audiences in the workplace. One is your internal audience, one is your external audience. I'm your external audience. When I come, you're so nice to me. I want to come back here again, isn't it? I feel happy when I'm coming here and you feel happy. So the way you relate with your staff or with your colleagues in the office is the most important, and I call it the work-health balance. Because if you're coming from your home and you're coming to work and say, so I'm going to meet that stupid boy today. I'm going to meet that my stupid supervisor. There is something that happens in your body without knowing. There are 2 hormones the body releases based on your frame of mind. One is adrenaline. And adrenaline also with cortisol. Now, what's adrenaline? Adrenaline is the fight or flight hormone. And then why is it important for you to be sure that you're not releasing adrenaline all the time? Adrenaline is good if there's a fire, before we know it will rush that we're rushing to save our lives. If somebody comes to attack me or comes to attack you as a rights activist, I'll beat the man to smithereens, but I need force. So is that adrenaline that gives power to my muscles? Give power to my muscles for my leg to run away. That's the point. But in doing that, there's something adrenaline does to the system. It constricts the arteries so that blood, there will be a lot of blood pumping from the heart. So to make sure that they pump blood to all the parts of the system. So over time, when you are not even doing that and you get angry, a surge of adrenaline goes into your system.
Okay.
So it triggers those things. Conversely, the other one is the happy hormone called endorphin. What is endorphin? The laughing hormone also. If you're happy, you're engaging well, your body releases endorphin. If you're dancing and happy, the highest endorphin release is actually good sexual relationship. So if you're here and then you're having, everybody is happy around you, a lot of endorphins, you release it, your fellows, so you're happy. So when you're coming here, whistling, not, I'm going to meet those people. It affects your blood pressure. It affects diabetes. The second one, in terms of financial health, if you are struggling to pay your pay your bills, it's going to affect you too. But also, that financial health has two levels. The first level is the basic. If you don't have money, you don't have money. But some people might have so much money, but they are still unhappy because they have put where, in terms of wealth quantile, they're supposed to be here. But in their mind, they feel that they're supposed to be here. They spend much more than they're supposed to spend. Remember, everything in life is at the level of need or wants. What do you need? I'm wearing this fancy dress. You're wearing this fancy dress. You could still wear even your nightgown and come out, isn't it?
Yes.
But you wear it in a way that it won't disgrace you, Abi. So, but the important thing here is, what do you really need? A lot of people don't intervene at the level of need. They intervene at the level of want. So they put themselves under financial pressure. You see how it affects your health again. Now let's look at the spousal health. People that are married, if you look at your husband as the evil every day, what will happen? If the woman, the man looks at the wife also, this stupid woman I went and married, same thing. So the relationship within the family, not only that it helps you, remember you have young ones who are looking at you. I tell people, children are apprentices, and everybody learn by apprenticeship. If every day you castigate your wife, your son is watching you, and the son is looking forward, I want to be like my dad. So it will affect his life. So spousal health also means family health. Then the other one, yes, the one is the health status. We're talking about, I think I'm going to talk about checkups with Zara. It is important that you continuously, intentionally check your health every year, depending on your age, and then also there are some diseases that are hereditary. If, for instance, for a woman there is a history of cancer in the family, cancer of the breast, that means you know you are 25% more prone to having cancer of the breast than the average woman. So you have to be a bit more intentional in checking for lumps and all that in your breast. For a man, if you say your father had cancer of the prostate, that means there's a familial history. So you must do your PSA every year without fail. So some of those, that's why health status is important. Then the other one is, the other part of the other thing is, how well are you too? Exercise. When last did you exercise? Do you exercise every day?
Every day.
You exercise every day.
Mornings,
Clap for yourself. And then remember too, it's important when you're exercising, you are well hydrated. Hydration is so key. 70% of the body is made up of water. If you don't hydrate well, it will be like you are driving a car with the engine not having enough oil. It will be making a crank. One day it will knock. Abi? So water is life, especially in a place like Abuja now, where relative humidity is very.
Yes, it is.
So, and then that means you have what we call insensible respiration. The one you notice is you're sweating, you're wiping your handkerchief, or you're looking for a fan to fan yourself. But the insensible respiration, you don't know you're losing water. That's the one that's most dangerous. And I tell people, especially elderly people, that the most dangerous time is between 12 midnight and 6 a.m. Because you sleep all through, you're losing water.
Through sweat, right?
Whether you're sweating, especially we are not in a room that is about 21 degrees Celsius. So you're losing a lot of water. So your blood thickens. So the chances of stroke becomes very high. So that's why people have to hydrate very, very well, at least 3 hours before they go to bed.
I'm afraid, Dr. Oji, that time is not our friend, but this is becoming like a master class now.
Yes, it is.
Yes, but let's just say this is scratching the surface and it's introductory for us. So we're going to have to find a way to have you honor us with your time once again. We can push this conversation further.
Thank you.
Thank you so very much. We've been speaking with Dr. Ejike Oji, he's the Chairman Management Committee Association for the Advancement of Family Planning, CSO Focal Point FP 2030, and convener 5 Million Women Database. That's what we'll leave it here on the program today. Remember that the views of our guests, especially as has to do with politics, their opinions. I'm Uyi Agumofwebe.
And I am Jumai Manson. Thank you once again, Dr. Oji, for being a part of the program. Good morning. And for Uyi and I, we say bye.